Hello there, my wonderful Misfitians, and welcome back to another Coffee with Carrie. And I have my coffee right here. So, first off, I had a plan for this particular video where I was going to talk about watercolor, basically things that helped you in watercolors, such as tips or hacks or stuff like that, or even supplies. Um, and some people answered that question, but a lot of you on that previous video just reached out through the camera basically to me and were basically saying, hey, I've struggled with depression. I have felt where you have felt, and I'm sending prayers and sending love your direction. And I just want to say thank you for that. That week I was extremely, extremely low. There was just a lot going on externally that particular week that was really mentally messing me up, and your comments meant the world to me. So that is the first thing that I really wanted to express to you. Thank you so much. The internet can be such a toxic place, but I have to say the people who follow my videos and the people who comment under my videos are some of the sweetest and nicest people that I really want to just give you all a hug and just be like, thank you so much for reaching out to me during that time. And as a result, I think I wanted to do a little bit of a follow-up to what has been going on with me so that y'all kind of know what's going on. So my depression, I've struggled with for years. I've had depression since I was a young kid. I honestly did not realize that I had depression when I was a young kid. But after going to a therapist and a counselor and talking to both of them, I realize now I've struggled with depression for a very, very long time. And my depression comes in waves. So a lot of times I'll be really, really high, and then I'll be like, oh, I don't have depression, I'm fine. And then I'll swoop down really, really low, and I just don't really want to do anything because I'm in just such a dark mental place. That being said, depression is different for everyone, so I'm just going to be talking about my kind of struggle with it, and I am no expert in it. I'm still working through a lot of the stuff that I'm going through. But with me and my depression, it comes in waves. So sometimes I'll be really, really high, and then just one little thing will hit me the wrong way and spiral me down into a deep, dark mental place. Another thing is depression for me. It affects people in different ways, but for me, it makes me really tired and it makes me really sad, which a lot of people I think of when they're talking about depression. But something that I didn't realize that now I'm starting to put together is, for me, when I'm depressed, it actually affects my body to the point that my body is in tremendous pain. So my body will hurt in different areas, and it almost feels like the best way I was telling my husband is it feels like somebody is like sticking me with a hot poker iron. It's like sharp and it hurts, and it's just all unrelenting. And that's kind of what depression is for me and how it affects my body. So what triggered my recent depression? There's a lot of things that trigger my depression, and I think a lot of people think that with depression, it's one thing that can trigger it, and usually it's not. It's usually layers upon layers. It's like an onion. There's different things that can trigger it, and unfortunately, once one of those things gets triggered, it just collapses. At least that's how it is for me. So last week, I was supposed to have a doctor's appointment that was supposed to be the first step, to basically figuring out whether I have celiac disease or not. Several of my doctors have thought that I have celiac disease, but they're not quite sure. So I was going to this specific doctor that was supposed to tell me whether I have it or not. And he canceled last minute. I don't know why, but at the last minute he canceled my appointment, which is fine. I was like, okay, been waiting for this one appointment for 2 months. It's okay. And he canceled it. And then he was like, well, his assistant, not him personally, but the secretary or whatever, said, oh, and the next available appointment is the end of February. So I was like, I have to deal with this uncertainty and deal with this, like, what is causing me to have digestive issues for another couple of months when I've already been waiting for years to figure this out, and we finally have like flags for that. So that sent me in a huge downward spiral. Another thing is that particular appointment was set up before another appointment that I'll talk about a little bit more later on, but I have to go to that particular appointment first before I can go to this particular appointment. And now that I can't go to that one, I have to wait until February. This one got pushed even further. So, and this one I'm actually excited about. That one is something that I'll get more into, but it's another doctor's appointment. But that one also got pushed. So a lot of expectations of like, yes, I'm going to get this solved and then I'll be able to go this route and stuff like that and work on this. Everything just got crushed, and it felt like I was in the same boat that I had been in several years ago when I was first finding out about a lot of my health issues. So that particular thing happened that week. Another thing that happened that particular week was I was processing through with my counselor just something that was in my past that really triggers me, and I still am not sure if I really want to talk about it in depth right now, but because it still really triggers me. But to kind of sum up a little bit, I have been working through a lot of what they call chronic PTSD. And basically it's due to childhood traumas. And just to kind of give you a little bit of a glimpse, there was a lot of abuse in my family. There was a lot of just mental fuckery. I hate to use that word, but that's what it is. That went on in my family. There was a lot of spiritual abuse. There was a lot of mental abuse. There was just a lot of abuse across the board for me growing up. And that's one reason why I created a boundary with my parents mainly, because it was a very toxic situation that I needed to pull myself out of. Unfortunately, for them, they see nothing wrong with what happened. And that's usually how it goes with an abuser. They don't see anything that's wrong. So trying to talk to them and work through stuff with them, it's hard because in their minds, they did nothing wrong. But for me personally, there was a lot of damage done mentally in my head, and anytime I tried to talk to them about it or work through with them, it was kind of like, just shut up. You're being too sensitive. That never happened. A lot of just, you don't need to worry about that because that actually never happened. You're blowing that out of proportion. But then when I talk to my counselor about stuff, or even my husband, I'm like, this isn't normal, right? And they're like, no, that's not normal. That's not normal at all. So I was also going through all of that that particular week and processing through a lot of that stuff. And I've been doing a lot better recently. I think in my brain, and I talked about this to my counselor, I very much feel like the villain, and that's very much how these toxic family members paint me, as like a villain. But I'm just trying to protect what I have left, basically. Um, and what I have left is broken pieces. I'm very much a broken human being, and I'm trying to piece together things that I didn't even realize how messed up they were and how twisted a lot of the psychology that was pressed upon me as a child and even as an adult, how twisted that was and how it was affecting me mentally. So that's a little bit, I don't really want to get too heavy into this, but that's a little bit of what I've been going on, like in my head and with my depression. I am perfectly fine. I have great resources. I have an awesome husband. He is definitely my soulmate. Um, I have an awesome husband. I have an awesome support system of friends and close-knit family with his side of the family. And I also have great counselors and therapists who I'm working through with this particular stuff. But I felt like I needed to share with you a little bit deeper of basically what has been going on with me and why I've kind of been taking a little bit of a step back. I'm still doing actually a lot of art. I'm just not sharing it a lot online because a lot of it is personal stuff that I'm actually using art more as therapy and stuff that I don't really want to show to the public, but it's stuff that's helping me process and work through my own shit that is inside of my brain. So, yeah, I hope that helps a little bit. As for a coffee with Carrie, let's just continue the conversation. Y'all kind of brought this up, this particular topic. So is there anything else that you would like for me to talk about? Please make sure to leave a comment down below and we'll just continue this kind of open conversation with Coffee with Carrie for right now. Anyway, lots of love, y'all. I hope you're having a good week and a good beginning of the week. And I will talk to you soon. And just so you know, I am in a good mental space right now, but I'm just taking things a little bit slower, just to be a little bit more transparent of what's been going on with me. So lots of love, y'all. Bye.